Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this week's pick a card readings. So this week we are doing pick a card readings for the full moon. What this full moon is going to draw in for you or pull in for you with this full moon cycle. So the full moon, the energies last until the next full moon typically. So this will be for pretty much the whole next 28 days. We'll see what energies you guys are dealing with that are being brought in with this full moon that could be influencing you. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Please click the subscribe button and the bell button below so that you can get notified when I post any new videos. I do have a few new ones that are going to go up this week. We are going to talk about the autumn equinox. I'm hoping to get that one up there, and then we have a Mercury retrograde that's going on that I'm hoping to get that up as well. So there will be some new ones going up that you guys are not going to want to miss, informational ones. So that'll be awesome, awesome. This will be dealing with astrology. And tonight we're going to do some tarot, or today, whenever you're watching this, we're going to do some tarot. So yes, click that subscribe button and click the bell button below. And that way you will get notified whenever I post something new so that you guys can make sure that you can see them. If you're not new to my channel, then welcome back so much. Thank you so much. When I can talk, thank you so much for joining me in these readings. So today, like I said, we're going to do some full moon readings and see what this full moon is drawing in for you all. These are pick a card readings. They're general readings, so they might not resonate with all of you. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest, okay? So first of all, how are we going to do this? I'm going to show you the deck that we're using. We're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams for this, and I'm also going to be pulling some runes as well because I've just been really drawn to runes lately. And I just want to have some fun and incorporate them into my readings. So we're going to do that as well, which should be really, really fun. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to pick, we're going to show you guys, I'm going to show you the top 3 cards that are on the top of the deck. And I want you guys to pick which one you are drawn to most, okay? So the first card we have is the Lovers. The second card that we have is the Ten of Cups. These are such good cards too. I don't know, I like the imagery on this deck. I love the imagery on this deck. And the fact that it has the astrology on it too makes it so much better. And then last but not least, for number 3, we have the Ace of Swords. So if you chose the Lovers card, you want to pay attention to pile number 1. If you chose the Ten of Cups, you want to pay attention to pile number 2. And if you chose the Ace of Swords, you want to pay attention to pile number 3. Now, you may also have been drawn to more than one. If you were drawn to more than one, that is okay as well, as more than one pile might hold messages for you. Okay? So we are going to jump into this, and we're going to get some cards for you guys. So to begin with, we're going to start off with a pile number 1. So if you chose pile number 1, this is the reading you want. So for pile number 1, the card was the Lovers. Love this card. I love the Lover's card. Well, at least this depiction of it. I don't know. There's something simple about this depiction. It's got this extremely calming energy to it. So to begin with, we're going to start off with a rune. Let's see. Okay. Then we're going to pull some cards. Oh, okay. So what energies is this woman bringing in? Pile number ones. Energies. This is the moon. Pile number ones. Oh. Okay. So what we have, if you chose pile number one, the rune that we pulled out, when I can hold it and not fumble it, is the tree rune. So this is a rune of stability, prosperity. For me, anyways, when I look at this, I see a tree. I see the roots down here and then like a little, the upper part of the tree above the ground. Almost like a shrub. I guess you could say a shrub. It doesn't have a trunk or anything, but I see like this line as like the ground and then the roots are underneath it and the tree buds above it, right? So this is a rune of like stability, prosperity, groundedness came through very, very strong when I pulled that card. So I feel like it is a rune that's probably going to be connected to some sort of grounding energy, rooted energy, concrete energy, right? We also have the 8 of coins coming up. We have the nine of swords. Can't talk tonight. With the 9 of swords, along with the 10 of swords reversed. And then we have the tree of life reversed on the bottom of the deck. So underneath of this, I feel this very kind of ungrounded energy. And this could be like not necessarily not knowing where you're going, but I feel like needing to focus on being grounded, right? The tree of life is growing. It's kind of like this pathway along spiritual development and what you kind of have to, the different steps and phases that you have to go through to get to a certain, just what we call spiritual enlightenment. So it's about working your way up, right? It's about growing things and developing things. I also see the fact that it's a tree. When the tree is upside down, it's not very grounded, it's not very rooted, it's not very strong and stable. So I see this energy of, aside from the fact that it's a spiritual symbolism, the actual tree itself, like the energy of a tree when it's uprooted, right? So it's this energy of like being uprooted, of not having any solid foundation. Maybe you guys have been feeling up until this point kind of unsure of things, questioning where things are going, or unsure of kind of what the future holds, or what the end game is of things, that kind of thing. There's definitely this ungroundedness and instability, and I just feel like unsurety in general, right? This sense of just instability, like uncertainty. Uncertainty is more the word I would use. So this sense of uncertainty is lying underneath the surface of things. And I see this also coming through in the Nine of Swords too, right? This sense of worry and anxiety and sitting and dwelling on things that we're scared of, all our fears, worry and anxiety and all these things typically stem from the root emotion of fear, right? We're scared of something, and when we're scared we don't have enough, or we're not going to have enough. That can cause anxiety, worry, stress, right? It can cause all these different other emotions, secondary emotions, to come up, but they all originally stem off of fear. So with uncertainty, it's fear, because you don't really know what the end game is. You don't know where the top is or what you're heading towards, right? It's like running that race where you don't know where the end point is kind of the energy I'm getting through with this. So there's a lot of anxiety because you just feel like things are just going to continue to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on for you. And you're like, where does it end? Like, is there an end point to any of this? Right? So if you chose pile one, like there's a lot of uncertainty lying beneath the surface with this full moon. And that is okay. That is okay. You don't need certainty, okay? But it's nice to have some. It is. Okay. So I'm also seeing though that the uncertainty is that's something we're going to have to work on with the full moon. But I do also see this full moon drawing in a new sense of purpose, a new focus. Okay. So where you may have had a lot of anxiety lying underneath the surface because you're not quite sure where you're going, this full moon is not only is bringing in that energy of organizing things. So we have the sun in Virgo in this card, and the sun in Virgo is actually the energy that is occurring at this full moon. Interestingly enough, the sun will be in the sign of Virgo. So you guys are really tapping into this energy, which is super cool, and is almost like right at the end of the sign, which I find really interesting. So in amongst all this worry and anxiety, this full moon is also bringing in with it for you guys a new focus, right? It's a desire, I feel like, as well, to kind of get your life in order. So because things are in such disarray now, like there's this uncertainty and things are just out of order, they're not following a certain path, they're not going the way they should be, that kind of thing. There's this other opposite end of the spectrum that says, well, I need to get my shit in order. I need to get my stuff in order. I need to get my life aligned. I need to get my life organized and get all the things back into order that need to be into order. And I feel like that's the energy coming through with this card. This new moon, for as chaos that's, the energy it was before it, it's bringing in this energy of organization. It's bringing in this energy of a new focus and clarity of what you need to be focusing on. And it's really going to allow you to organize things a lot better than what they are. I feel like you guys are going to have an end game in sight. You're going to know exactly where you're going. You're going to have a plan. And this full moon, I keep wanting to say new moon, this full moon is bringing with it that clarity for you, right? You guys are super tapping into this Virgo energy of this full moon. I feel like this Virgo energy of the full moon is helping to balance it, because I feel like you guys may have been super caught up in the, or could be get super caught up in the Pisces energy of this full moon, and the way to balance that out is to tap into the Virgo energy of this full moon. Interestingly enough, right? Virgo energy is about organizing things, about getting things in order, about understanding truths of information, right? Virgo is the feminine aspect of Mercury, which is the planet of information and communication, right? So being the feminine aspect of Virgo is the sign that takes in all sorts of information. You know, where we receive information from people, or sources, we're pulling this information in. And as we pull this information in, we're dissecting it, we're going through it, and we're figuring out what is true to us. What is truth for us? What information we should be keeping and what information we should be getting rid of? What thoughts we should be keeping, what thoughts we should be getting rid of? What in our lives we need to keep and what in our lives we need to get rid of, right? So this full moon is bringing in that energy. It's really allowing you to sift through everything and get stuff organized and get things moving, and hopefully get a plan, or at least a projection of where you want to be and how to get there. Okay. I feel like it's also a good way. Another thing that is going to do is it's going to provide you a release for all this anxiety. Like I said, you guys could have been dealing with with the moon in Pisces. This is illuminating all that worry, this fear, this anxiety for you guys. This is interesting because while this fear, I get this sense of while this fear and anxiety and stuff is getting illuminated, it's pushing you more to, this fear and anxiety is pushing you to get more organized. It's really, really, it's a funky energy that's coming through with this, but it's pushing you to really kind of get more practical with things, get more grounded with things, dig your roots in, set those roots, and get more organized with things, right? So that you can get a foundation for things. But I do feel like this full moon is going to magnify like a lot of the worries and anxieties you guys have had. So if you do feel that coming in, don't worry. We have a technique of getting rid of those, okay? You are definitely going to want to try to get rid of those with this Ten of Swords reversed. So the Ten of Swords is the Sun in Pisces, interesting enough. And then we have the Sun in Virgo. The Sun is literally, both these cards, they're quite literally opposites of each other, right? One talks about being up in your head so much, and the other one talks about, you know, putting your focus into something more practical and not something so illusory. Not something so dreamy, I guess you could say. With Pisces energy is very like imaginative and dreamy, right? It's like you got to get out of that dream state. You got to start putting things into practical use. Got to get out of your head and start getting grounded and rooted, right? This is the way to balance this. This is the moon to balance that. And so how we're going to balance that, we have this focus and this drive coming in of Virgo. So this focus and drive to this focus to get organized, right? This aim and this goal to get organized with this full moon. But we also have this desire on the other side of that to get rid of everything that's holding us back from being able to get organized, from being able to clear our heads of things and focus on things, right? So in order to even begin to get organized, to begin to be able to focus on things, we have to clear our heads. You guys, as pile ones, have to clear your heads of everything that is preventing you from focusing on the stuff, that is preventing you from being able to focus. Because you can see in this card, this guy's very, very focused on what he's doing. But on the other card, this person's very focused on some nasty stuff, right? So you have to drop this stuff with the Ten of Swords reversed. This is 9, this is 10, right? You have to drop this stuff in order to be able to focus on this. Okay? So one way that you can do that is to release it, let it go. So I'm gonna give you guys a suggestion of something, of a way you can release this in a moment here. But I do want to talk about the rune as well. So again, this rune is saying this, like I said, this new moon is bringing instability for you. This is the tree rune. So, well, and it's funny that this comes up with this one reversed. So while underneath the surface of this, maybe previous to this, you may have found yourself unrooted, ungrounded, all that stuff that, you know, the tree was upside down. This moon's going to right that tree up. It's going to flip this card so that you're not ungrounded anymore. It's bringing in a lot of those earthy energies for you guys. I feel like even though it's in a water sign, it's all about balance, right? So if you're out of balance in one area, it brings in other energies to balance it out. And that's what this full moon is doing for you guys. It is bringing in a lot of grounded, stable, earthy energies for you. So this energy, this moon could be a little tough for you guys as far as like emotions and, you know, fears and paranoias and stuff of being heightened, and you kind of being stuck in your head when it comes to your emotions, right? Like I said, fear and anxiety and worry and all these things that go on mentally but also go on emotionally, those are the things that are going to come up. And that could be a little bit tough on you, but there is a way to release them. And when you can release these, there will be this energy of being able to focus and being able to organize things and get things back, get all your ducks back in a row, so to speak, with this full moon. So if you chose a pile one with this full moon, what you guys want to do is you want to get a container of like a glass of water like this, or you can do it with a bowl of water, whatever. I'm saying use water because the moon is in water. Okay, Pisces is a water sign, so we're going to work with the element of the moon. Plus, we have this card coming up here, which is Mars in Pisces. So it's taking action. Mars is the action planet. So this card is saying we have to take action in regards to our fears, in regards to our using the element of water. Okay. But because they're swords, we're going to use communication too. I'm going to pull in all the elements in this, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get a glass or a bowl of water. And you want to hold that in front of you or set it in front of you. And you want to focus on that. And as you're focusing on that, you want to speak into that water anything that comes to your mind. So any thoughts, any worries, any anxieties, anything that's stressing you out, anything that's having a negative impact on you, anything that comes to mind that's really having a negative impact on you and is preventing you from being able to focus. Okay, that's the big thing that we want to get rid of, is any blockages that are preventing you from focusing. So what you want to do is you want to speak everything that comes to your mind. If you are around people and you might not be able to do this, like actually physically speak it, you can also think it. Same thing, as long as you're focusing on the water, so you don't look totally crazy. You can speak it or think it into the water, okay? And after you've like brain dumped all of these things that are preventing you from being able to focus on things, from being able to organize anything in your life, etc., etc., anything that you feel you need to get rid of, just dump it in the water, okay? Verbally, mentally. Next thing you want to do, after you've done that, I want you to speak the word love or think the word love into the water. And the reason why you want to do this is to transmute the water. So water is an element that holds energy. This has been scientifically proven, that when you speak different things into water, the crystals that make up water physically change, and water holds on to different emotions and different vibrations and different frequencies. So when you're talking negative things into water, the water picks up that negative emotion and that negative energy. It changes the molecular structure of the water. Then when you dump that water down the drain, like what you're going to do, you're putting all that negativity back into the earth, which is not what we want to do. So this is why I said to speak love, the actual word love, because it's the highest vibration or frequency you can get, to change the molecular structure of the water, to change the frequency of the water. Once you speak love into that, and you can tell that, you know, the water's been transmuted, you can then dump it down the drain. Because then you have this water filled with love that's no longer filled with negative stuff. And you're returning love back into the world, right? You're bringing that positive energy. So when you dump this water down the drain, like what you're going to do, or outside or into your plants or whatever you choose to do, it's putting love back into it instead of negativity. We don't want to add negativity to things. We want to get rid of negativity, right? So it's important to transmute that energy before you pour it back into the earth, okay? After you've done that, after you've said love and you've spoken that frequency into the water, you can then dump the water anywhere. You can dump it down your drain. You can take it outside if you have a garden, dump it in your garden. Whatever you kind of feel pulled to do. Dump it outside. You can even just dump it on the ground outside if that's what you want to do, and pour it back into the earth. Essentially, that's what's going anyways. So it doesn't really matter where you dump it, but you want to dump it and give it back. Send it on its way, right? You want it flowing away from you, but at the same point in time, you want to give something positive back to the world, if that makes sense. So that is definitely what this full moon is bringing in for you. A lot of you may have this sense of instability and things kind of lying underneath the surface. With this full moon, it's really important to kind of get rid of any of those negative thoughts, anything that's preventing you from focusing, any insecure thoughts, anything, any worries, anxieties, fears, insecurities, anything like that you want to get rid of. And once you get rid of those, you'll feel so much better. And it will allow you to pull in some grounded energies, and it will anchor you a little bit more. And it will allow you, because your mind will be so clear of clutter, that you'll be able to refocus on things. And then this new moon will be bringing in that Virgo energy for you that will definitely allow you to focus on things, and organize things and get the things done in your life that you want to get done. So I hope that you guys found that helpful. If you did, please let me know by leaving some feedback in the comments below, or liking this video. That'll work as well. Thank you guys. So we're going to do pile 2 next. Now we're going to jump into pile number 2. Sorry, that was a little long. pile 2. If you chose the 10 of Cups, you are wanting to pay attention to this reading. Okay, so if you chose the 10 of Cups, this is your reading. Let's do pile number 2. What is this full moon bringing in for them? I don't know which this one is. This one. Actually, let's get it in. Let's shift the diagonal. Shake. Then we're gonna grab a rune. This rune's come out a couple times. So we have reversed. The movement rune reversed. So let's see what comes up. You guys got the Tree of Life reversed. What is the energies of this building? The energy of wow. A lot of all over the place kind of energy. It's like that, ready to explode. Okay. Cards are flying over. Okay. So what I'm seeing for pile 2 is the cards. So the rune we got was the movement rune reversed. It's like a little M. Looks like a W. Supposed to be an M. And it's upright. But it's reversed. We also have the Tree of Life coming up reversed. We have the Moon card with the 6 of Pentacles reversed. So we have the Moon card coming up and the 6 of Pentacles reversed in behind it. And then we have the 2 of Cups. And the Fool card on the bottom. So I think this full moon is bringing in some restlessness. There's a lot of restlessness underneath the surface of things. Give me a second. So with this, I feel a lot of, when we're talking about this full moon for you, pile 2s, I think that this full moon is bringing in a lot of stillness. So lately, you could have been feeling very restless, or you could be feeling very restless under the surface. Like you just need to be doing something. You need to get moving. You need to get going. There's something, like I just feel this huge restless energy. And And I think that this moon is going to be a bit of a challenge for you guys because a lot of this restless energy is coming through. But the energy that's coming through full on with this full moon is this energy of needing to sit still, this energy of needing to go within. So there's this underlying energy of restlessness, but the energy that the full moon is projecting for you guys this month is this energy to kind of sit still. So we have the movement rune reversed, which means that a lot of movement is not going to be this full moon is going to be about going within, of not making any big changes, not making any big steps, not necessarily moving forward, but sitting with yourself. That's what I'm getting. And this isn't to block progress. Like, a lot of people sometimes would interpret that as like not moving and progress being halted, which it can be interpreted that way, but that's not the way that I'm feeling it come through. I'm feeling that it's just like pause, hit the pause button, right? Hit the pause button because it's not quite the time to take action and move forward with things. This full moon for you guys is more about rejuvenating, of going within and just sitting with yourself. With the Tree of Life reversed, this is a lot of introspective work and around, kind of where you're headed and what you want to be building and working towards. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this full moon is going to have you kind of thinking about what your next goals are, what you want to be working towards, what you want to be building and achieving and moving towards. With the full moon, or sorry, with the moon card here, you guys definitely need to be. So for pile ones, I said I felt like they were tapping into the Virgo aspect of this. They needed to be releasing things with the Pisces, things that are holding them back, that are maybe keeping them feel confused and stuff. With you guys, I feel like you guys really need to be focusing on the Pisces energy in the sense of imagination. So I feel like for you guys, your imagination is going to be a powerful, powerful tool this full moon to pull in what it is that you want. Okay, some of you may be feeling very, very stuck with manifestation. So, like I said, that M rune can sometimes come up as like being stuck and not having a direction of where to go. But I feel like the direction, it's not that you don't have a direction of where to go, but there's so much maybe going on in around you physically that you're not taking the time to go within. This full moon is saying the direction's within you. You just kind of got to go in and find it. So if you've definitely been one of those people who's been feeling lost and not sure which way to go and not sure which direction to take or how to get to where you want to go, this full moon, if you chose pile 2, is saying it's time to stop, because it's time to tap into yourself, your dreams, your hopes, your wishes. For some of you, the answers might come into you through your dreams of, this could very much be a dream state for you. I don't feel like this is everybody. I feel like this is more imagination, that it's saying to use your imagination, and like, you can go anywhere you want to go. You can do anything you want to do. You just got to believe it, for one. And you need to be able to see it, right? I think a lot of what holds us back in life is that we can't see it. We don't believe that anything is possible, right? We get stuck in this realistic thing of, well, we live in a 3D world, we're held in by laws, and yes, you jump off the CN Tower, you jump off a tower, you're gonna hit the ground. The law of gravity says so. You know what I mean? There are laws that we can't defy. However, we aren't as often confined as we may think we are, right? And the mind is a very, very powerful tool. And this Pisces moon, if you chose 2, you're being asked to tap into that mind. You're being asked to really tap into that and and see what your imagination can bring up. Okay? Because there is so much in your imagination. You can go anywhere you want. And that's why, like, if you don't have a direction, that's okay, because the direction is wherever you want. So wherever you want. What do you desire? Where does your heart want to take you? Where does your mind want to take you? That's the question. So with this full moon, there's this imagination being really pulled in. Like, you guys may find yourself daydreaming about things, or, you know, kind of up in your head imagining things. And if you're not, that's definitely an energy you guys can tap into if you want. But you have to get yourself out of this physical stuff, right? We have the Six of Coins here, which is the moon in Taurus, just feeling very limited sometimes, feeling very grounded, stuck. I have a Taurus moon, so I can say that. Sometimes we can get really, really stuck in the materialistic stuff, and our mind can get stuck in the material world, right? When we can get our mind outside of the material world, you see the possibilities. And that's a very hard thing to do, trust me, because I have tried several times. It's hard. But I feel like for you guys, it's bringing balance, right? It's saying, like, look, it's that balance of us as creators that we can manifest whatever it is we want if we believe, right? If we can pull our minds out of that social construct and out of the idea that, you know, we can only do so much in this world, and see the possibilities, the infinite possibilities, can achieve anything. So that's what this full moon is bringing in, is a sense of imagination. We also have the Two of Cups. So I feel like for some of you, this could be, I don't want to say a new relationship. I don't feel like it's new relationships, but it could be new relationships. We have Venus in Cancer. I feel like it brings in a new hope. This full moon is saying, like, look, you're a co-creator. You know what I mean? You're paired up with whatever you believe to create this reality, right? Everybody's got their own beliefs as to what that is. But I feel like for some of you, this could be bringing in a new connection with yourself as well, a new connection with your mind, right? I feel like some of you may have felt really, really disconnected, especially from your imagination, right? The Two of Cups is always like a connection with something. Now, sometimes this means emotional, but water can be, like I said, it can be your imagination. So it brings in this connection with your mind. And when you can connect with your mind and your imagination, you can create so much. You can manifest so much. I feel like there's just, let's see. Yeah, I really do feel like for a lot of you in pile twos, like, this is forming a reconnection with your imagination. You know, I keep hearing child's, I'm not sure why that word keeps popping in my head. So I feel like, do you remember when we're children and, you know, if you watch a child play, they can make anything real. I mean, their toys are real. You know, if you've ever watched a little girl with her baby, her doll, even though it's not real to us, it's real to them. They bathe them, they take care of them. You know, the dolls cry, the dolls are hungry, you know what I mean? They have such an imagination that makes everything real. And they have such a connection to imagination that everything in their world is real. And they have no limits to anything. Like, they believe that anything is possible, even if we look at it as adults and we're like, nope, not possible, because our minds have been programmed as we've gotten older. Children have this untainted mind. And I feel like for you guys, if you chose pile 2, this full moon is kind of bringing in that rejuvenated sense of imagination, that childlike sense of imagination that just taps you into anything. And it reminds you what it's like to be a child, what it's like to have that kind of imagination where we can just imagine anything and it's real, right? We can imagine that we can make anything real. There is no doubt. And I feel like that's what's coming in. And that's what this 2 of Cups is representing. It's that reconnection with our imagination, that reconnection with your mind that some of you may have been struggling with up until this point, right? With really tapping into that. A lot of you may have been like so caught up in a lot of other mundane, I don't want to say mundane things, but adult things, you know, where we are forced to take on that serious mindset and we lose that mindset as a child. So this full moon is bringing in a lot of energies of creativity, of tapping into your imagination to create things. It is going to make you pause. It is going to make you daydream. It is going to make you look within yourself, right? It is going to pull you back to original states of things. So it's definitely going to hit the pause button. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. So an exercise you guys can try for this full moon is to close your eyes and just visualize what it is you want to manifest, even if you can't see it in your head. You know, even if you close your eyes and you see nothing. The other thing about Piscean energy is it's feeling, right? And sometimes we just need to feel it. So even if you don't see it, feel it. You know what I mean? So let's say you want a new job and that's what you want to manifest. That's the dream or the reality that you want to create. What are you wanting to create, right? You're feeling stuck with work and you want a new job and you want to create it. If you chose pile 2, what I want you to do is close your eyes, see yourself in the job, the perfect job for you that you want, that you've been dreaming of. And I want you to see yourself there. If you can't see yourself there, I want you to feel those emotions. Feel yourself there. Allow yourself to feel what it feels like to be in that position. Even if you can see it, I still want you to feel it too. Okay? So close your eyes and feel and see yourself in the position that you want to be, in the point in life that you want to be. If you could be anywhere in your life right now, you could be living the perfect life right now, what would it look like? And then use the power of your mind to manifest that, right? You have to feel it. But this is going to require you to, like I said, take a step back, pause, meditate, close your eyes, you know, put the world on pause for a moment and go within. And that's why I said, like, I feel like this full moon is really pulling you guys in. And it's really kind of making you go within, tapping into those dreamlike energies of Pisces that is so beautiful, and the infinite possibility energy of Pisces. And it's allowing you to create what you want. This is a huge manifestation moon for you guys if you're number 2s, and you want to take advantage of that, okay? So close your eyes, see your perfect life. You could do anything. If money was no concern, if all your concerns just faded away, you had everything, what would your life look like? And then see yourself there. And hold that thought. hold that feeling and just sit with it for a bit. And then when you feel like you're good, open your eyes. You can even write it down if you want, if that helps with visualization. I know some people, they can see things in their mind's eye better if they write it out and they're reading it back to themselves. If that's something you need to do, by all means, write it out. If that works for you, that's another way you can do it as well. But I do feel like you guys might have a bit of a challenge this full moon too, because there is this restlessness underneath it to start something new. Like I said, some of you may be feeling a little bit stuck in the situation you are, and you just want to, you want to change it, or you want to start something new, and there's this restless energy under it. Don't let this restless energy distract you. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Don't let this become a distraction, because it can easily become a distraction. There's a way to utilize this energy, like I said, through your imagination, through visualization. But if you don't utilize this energy correctly, sometimes it can be quite the distraction. So that's what I got for pile 2s. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if that resonated with you guys at all. And we're going to move on to pile 3. So pile 3s. What do we got for 3s? 3s is the Ace of Swords. So if you chose the Ace of Swords, you want to be paying attention to this. Let's see what you guys. Bringing forth. So for you, pile 3s, we have the cycles, the hourglass, the infinity, whatever you want to call it. It's the infinity sign, but so we'll say the infinity rune. Okay, let's see what comes up for you guys. What energies are being brought forth with this full moon for pile 3s? What energies are being brought forth with this full moon? Now, put that back. Okay. What do we have at the bottom of the deck? 3. Okay, so for you guys, what I got, if you chose pile 3, we have the infinity rune. So this represents cycles, seasons, the come and go of things, right? Every year we go through all 4 of the seasons. We go through winter, spring, summer, and fall. Every year. and then we go through it again. Every day we go through cycles. The sun rises, we hit noon, the sun sets, we go through the nighttime, the sun rises the next day, we start the cycle all over again, right? That is what this rune represents. It represents cycles. So we're going to set that there. We have the Sun card coming up as well. Then we have the Eight of Swords. With the Six of Swords and behind it. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. And on the bottom, we have the Three of Coins reversed. So with the Three of Coins reversed on the bottom, I'm getting this energy of not being able to expand out of something, not being able to grow out of something. There's this energy of it being confined and not being able to grow, not being able to, like I said, expand out of something. So the Three of Pentacles, when it's upright, to me represents building things, expanding things on a physical level. This could be like expanding a house, expanding, expanding financial stuff, expanding your money, your financial situation, your living situation, whatever the case may be. This usually deals with issues that are physical in nature. So they involve our physical world around us. But there is definitely growth and expansion. Threes in numerology represent creation and expansion. So creating something different, expanding beyond what we have currently. With the Sun card, the first thing I'm seeing is cycles, 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 cycles. So a lot of cycles. With the Wheel of Fortune card coming up reversed is getting stuck with things. The Sun card represents an awareness to me. So I feel like this full moon is bringing awareness of things, particularly things in regards to Pisces, because we also have another Pisces card. Another Pisces card in behind this. So a lot of people, we're focusing a lot on Piscean energy. Obviously the moon is in Pisces, so it doesn't surprise me that a lot of cards with Pisces energy are coming up. This is what y'all need to be focusing on. So with this reading in particular, the spotlight's getting shone on things, okay? Things are coming into our awareness, that things are coming into your awareness that you cannot not see. Okay? You can't. Much like the sun, when it's up in the sky, it's there. There's no denying the sun is there. You can't deny that, right? It's there. It's for everybody to see. It's the brightest star in our solar system. Well, yeah, the brightest star in our solar system at the moment. You can't not see it, right? It is impossible to not be aware of the sun. You just can't. It's the same with this moon energy for you guys. If you chose 3, there's something coming into your awareness that you cannot ignore. You can't not be aware of it, because the Sun card here is lighting that shit up for you. It's setting it on fire. It's making it that big, bright, glowing fucking ball in the sky, saying, there is no way you're going to ignore me. It's just not going to happen. So there's there's something being brought into your awareness or to your attention. So the sun also draws attention, right? It's this big fiery ball in the sky. We can't, like I said, we can't not notice it. When we have Jupiter and Pisces coming up, it is bringing our attention to where we are excessive when it comes to Piscean energy, where we are super, super excessive. I feel like this excessiveness is in a need to protect ourselves. So Pisces sometimes they want to escape. The shadow side of Pisces, they like to try and escape reality, okay? Because sometimes reality can be a little difficult for Piscean energy to work with. So one of the shadow sides is they often get into things that allow them to escape reality, whether that be gambling, drugs, addictions, whatever. I mean, addictions come in so many different ways. Ways to escape reality could take on so many different forms. That's going to be different for everybody. But there is definitely, I feel like this need to put yourself in a bubble and kind of escape, to isolate yourself. Isolate yourself. Okay, so maybe not totally escaping reality, but isolating yourself. You can see in this how she's in that little bubble. She's isolating herself, right? She's in her own bubble. And I almost see that as escaping reality too, because you're not living, when you're in a bubble, you're not necessarily living in the physical world, right? You're not experiencing it. So not only do you isolate yourself, but you also cut yourself off from reality in a lot of ways too, right? Which I feel like in this case is very much what this card is saying. This this full moon is bringing in this awareness of maybe where you have been cutting yourself off from reality, where you, for some of you, now not all of you, because I feel like there's a secondary energy coming in here too. Excuse me. For some of you, like I said, this is awareness of what you need to change because you're keeping yourself stuck in a bubble, right? Where you need to kind of break out of your shell, break out of your comfort zone, break out of your bubble, where you need to face things. Instead of hiding away from things, you need to face things. Now, I also feel like for some of you, this could be more of a protection thing where you need to protect yourselves. Because I'm also seeing this as like a form of like an energy shield or an energetic shield. So some of you, this full moon could be illuminating or bringing into your awareness where you are leaving yourself exposed, where you are not protecting yourself enough, and maybe where you need to work on setting boundaries and limits and putting up those protections that you need, or putting into place those things that are going to protect you so that you're not going to get used or abused or that kind of thing. Makes sense? It's going to help you to stand your ground on what you allow people to do and what not to do. Right? Because sometimes Piscean energy can be it's such a loving energy, but I have noticed this from knowing quite a few Pisces that sometimes they're so loving that they give and they give and they give and they overgive, right? And they can allow people to use them. It is very easy for people to take advantage of them sometimes because they are such generous people. And, it takes a lot for Pisces to get to the point where they say enough is enough. They will give till they can't give anymore, and that's just kind of their nature. But I think like this full moon, if that is your nature and you're somebody who gives a lot, you don't have a lot of protections in place, or you're somebody who's allowing yourself to be taken advantage of or hurt in some way, this moon is going to come up and say, it's bringing in that energy of, you need to put some limits to this stuff. You need to find a way to protect yourself from getting taken advantage of, from getting used, from getting abused, that kind of thing. Like I said, for other people, it could be that they're too guarded, they've got themselves off in this own little bubble. And in that case, the reverse needs to happen, and the awareness is coming through that this bubble needs to be burst. You need to pull yourself out of the shell. You can't hide away forever. Eventually, you have to move, right? Eventually, you have to change things up. And again, that is also coming through with this Wheel of Fortune card, as well as this, because actually this rune correlates with this card, interestingly enough. So it is illuminating cycles that we have been stuck in, cycles that we have not been breaking or changing, and cycles that we need to change. Okay, so this full moon is letting, if you chose pile 3, this full moon is saying, like, look, you've been stuck in this, you've been doing this, you've either been hiding away or you've been allowing people to take advantage of you and allowing yourself to get hurt. And now you need to stop it. You need to either put up more protections, or you need to burst the protections that you're in and get yourself out of your shell a little bit more in order to be able to move forward, in order to be able to create what it is you want to create. Because right now you guys are stifling yourselves. And that's not something you want to do. You want to be able to create, right? You want to be able to create. And that's just it. You don't kind of want to be stifled. Let's see. So for a lot of you, if one exercise you can try is, if you are one of those people who is living in a bubble and you need to pull yourself out of that bubble, I feel like a lot of this is just an energetic shield around you guys, like you close your hearts off, right? Nobody can get near you. So what you want to do is you want to remove that energy. So for you guys, you're just going to visualize, if you can close your eyes and visualize yourself surrounded by that energy. So that energy is going to show up like a field around you, right? Oh, sometimes it'll show up as a light, or you'll see it in different ways, but you'll know it. And then once you can see that field around you, I want you to visualize it, see it or feel it. Some people don't visualize all that well, and that's okay too. If you can't visualize, then at least feel it. I want you to, once you can feel that energy fields around you, or you can see it, I want you to feel or see it kind of dissipating, breaking away, so that you're left exposed and that field isn't around you anymore. Okay. Now, if you're one of those people who needs to set a little more boundaries and needs to protect yourself a little bit more, I want you to do the opposite. I want you guys to close your eyes and visualize or see yourself, just yourself. And then as you can see yourself, see a field of energy around you that's protecting you. So see it surround you, and that's what's going to protect you. You can see it or feel it. Some people feel it too. Okay, now some people will see this as white light, some people will see this as different. Again, it's going to manifest differently for everybody depending on what you naturally see. But that's what I want you guys to do with this full moon. Depending on which way you need to go, if you need to release it, I want you to see or feel it disintegrating and bursting away. If you need to pull it in because you need more protection, if you're one of those people who kind of leaves yourself too vulnerable, then I want you to visualize it surrounding you. Okay? That's what you really need, and that's what's going to help you guys to grow as well. So hopefully that reading resonated with you guys. If the readings resonate with you guys, please let me know. I love hearing the feedback. I love knowing that they are helpful for you guys. And yeah, so that is all of the readings for this week. I hope you guys have an amazing and wonderful week, and I will see you guys all for more readings next week. Bye, guys.